Our Father in heaven, we want to bless your name. We thank you for this evening. We worship you for your presence with us. Thank you for this opportunity we have to be gathered as the DLCF FUTO alumni for this seminar and panel discussion this evening. Thank you for preserving all of our lives, and thank you that we have hope of a better tomorrow. Thank you, Father, for all the resources you've given us, all the things you've provided that pertain to life and godliness. We exalt you, Lord. We want to invite your presence with us this evening to take charge of our seminar. We ask that you have your way. We pray that, Lord, you will help us to learn what we need to learn. We pray you give your spirit of knowledge and utterance to all of our panelists, that they will speak and share all the knowledge that we need to know today. And we pray that, Lord, you will have your way. We pray that all the technology, the network, the internet, the devices people need to log in, access to data and all that, provide, oh God, and make everything to work fine this evening in Jesus' name. Amen. Father, thank you, Lord, because we know you've heard and answered our prayers, and this will be an empowerment as we go on to exercise the power you've given us to get wealth. May your name be exalted, O God, in heaven. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. 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 So I'm going to, at this point, hand over to the moderator, but before I do that, let me briefly introduce him. So our moderator for the panel discussion is Brother Wisdom Inyang, who is the treasurer of the DLCF FUTO Alumni Fellowship. He has served in DLCF FUTO as transport coordinator, maintenance coordinator, prayer coordinator. He studied polymer and textile engineering. He currently works as a software engineer. He's from the class of 2016, just like myself. And he will serve as our moderator for the session this evening. Thank you. Over to Bro Wisdom.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ikeki. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so without further ado, we just go straight to our topic. We're talking about the Nigerian Tech Space, talking about the process, to help others, probably in the fellowship or in the alumni and beyond. So we've to get this webinar. We'll be talking about the Nigerian Tech Space. A lot has been happening in terms of technology in our country here. Someone once said that India exports software engineers. So there are a lot of activities happening in the Nigerian tech to also boost and enrich the Nigerian tech industry, get more talent on board, and ultimately just announce us to the world as one of the providers of software engineering talent. So that's currently ongoing. A lot of states are actively involved. States are gradually becoming involved in the tech space. A state like Edo State, the governors particularly, they have tech hubs in Edo State. Young people are getting into tech. It's happening all around Lagos, in Abuja, and beyond. So there's a wave currently, and definitely there are still those that are outside of the technology space and probably are thinking, how do I come in? Where do I get started? The tech field or the tech industry is large, so where do I find my footing? So I hope that will be able to our seasoned panelists be able to justify this meeting and open us up to areas and opportunities that we could avail ourselves for those wanting to come into the tech industry and for those already there, and how they can climb and make more progress in their tech career. So thank you very much once again. Our panelists, we have the Ebuka Igdono. I don't know if he's here yet. He's a senior software engineer, class of 2010. That's FUTO. We also have the Genesis and Wenyoku, senior product manager, class of 2015. We have Bro Ikechukwu Oji, senior software engineer, class of 2016. Sorry, I hope everyone can hear me well. Someone is saying.
Yeah, it sounds a bit muffled, I think.
Oh.
It's sounding as though you're talking from a distance.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just hold on. Let me change my audio device.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yeah, much better for me.
Okay, great. Sorry. Okay, so we have Bro Ikechukwu Oji, senior software engineer, class of 2016, and we have Bro Christian Omenogo, he's a UI UX designer, class of 2020. So I think we are complete in a sense. So, but however, before we get started fully, I would also like to give opportunity to each of our panelists to really introduce themselves. And when I talk about introducing themselves, so we just like to know a little about them, their current work, marital status, if you don't mind, the course you studied, the university, office you occupied, if you're a leader, in DLCF FUTO, then. When did you join the tech industry and why? What was your motivation? So, so with that, we get started. I think we first call on. Sorry, can anyone confirm to me where the car is on the call?
I don't see him yet.
Okay, all right. So let's start with Bro Genesis. Bro Genesis, talk to us. Welcome.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Good evening. It's wonderful getting to connect with each and every one of us once again after a long period of time. So just as Wisdom has said, and also Nkechi, my name is Genesis Enwenyoku, class of 2015, leadership held or service in the fellowship. I was the academic director for 2015. Myself, Peter Marvelous, and Moses Okongo, three of us were the academic directors for that year. Marital status, I'm married and recently had a baby boy 2 weeks ago, by the grace of God. Then, thank you so much. Thank you. Then current place of work, I'm team lead and also senior product manager for Rover. Rover is an initiative of FCMB UK. So I coordinate the product team within Nigeria and UK, which is basically a fintech company. When did I join the tech space? I started off in tech in 2017 after my NYC. So that was when I went into tech. What other question? Wisdom, if I'm not forgetting.
Yeah, so what was your motivation? Yeah, why?
Oh, yeah, my motivation actually was just because I love technology. After I finished school and after NYSC, I was actually working with some NGOs and also doing some freelance work. But my passion for technology was just the key factor that made me decide to go into IT. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Bro Ikechukwu Oji.
Okay, yeah, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah,
Yes.
loud and clear.
So, my name is Ikechukwu Oji. I studied mathematics in FUTO. Position held, I think mostly GPT, maintenance, and then little, what is it called?
GC.
Yes, little general coordinator, the little one. Then I think that was mostly that. And then for currently, I work with Folklore. I'm a senior software engineer in Folklore in the United States. And I basically work from home in Nigeria. So I'm not in the United States, please. And yeah, I think that is most. Then I also have some other contract jobs and so on, just a few of them. So that's mostly what keeps me busy. And for status, marital status, I'm currently married. Yeah, and not expecting any kids soon, as I want to have a clear head for now. So I think that is a brief summary. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, so when did you join the tech industry and what was your motivation?
Well, that is a very dicey one. So I would say I joined the tech industry like I knew I was going into tech. I would say 2013, back in FUTO. So basically what motivated me was that my lecturers could not do very simple coding exercises. So I was like, I need to understand how this works. And yeah, so that made me to start learning QBasic, C++, Java. I think I started with Java mostly. And then when I got to understand what was happening, like, wow, this is not that difficult. I think I just enjoyed doing it until I finished service. Then I found out that I could actually get paid for it. I didn't know I could get paid for it. So I got a job immediately after service. So I was like, wow, this place. And that was how.
Sorry, okay. Oh, we can't hear him. We lost him. Okay, so while waiting to get him back, probably when he's back, he will continue. But while waiting for him, so bro, Christian Omenogo, you can go.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah.
You can hear me clearly, right?
Sure.
Okay, great. As you know, my name is Bro Christian Omenago. I'm class of 2020. I graduated from the Department of Information Management Technology, although it was changed to Information Technology. I began my tech journey in 2019. That was during my internship. So my motivation was that it was a necessity for me because I'm in the Department of Information Technology. So I needed to have some basic tech skill, and then I opted for design. Currently, I'm working as a lead UI UX designer at Empire Pixel in Canada. I'm working remotely though, so I'm working from Nigeria. Leadership position head in FUTO. I was the coordinating head usher and then the assistant general coordinator for campus location. I'm currently single, single, and then that's all, right?
Yeah, thank you very much, bro, Christian. Okay, so yeah, so we just get started, and it's just gonna be a discussion and interactive session.
So excuse me.
Okay, sorry.
I think Brebuka is on the line now.
Oh, Brebuka. If you are here, can we hear you speak? Okay, so while waiting, bro Ikechukwu, I think you're almost rounding off before your network cut you off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there actually, but yeah, sorry about that. So basically, I was just saying that what question was I answering again?
Yeah, you're talking about your journey into tech.
Oh,
After your service, you actually found out that you could be paid for it.
yeah, exactly. That's basically what transpired. Though Bro Anthony Wachuku was a major direction in getting the job, basically. So yeah, that really helped me about Victor. They don't get it. Yeah. So they really showed me, wow, there are companies that are hiring for this and that. So I looked into it and I was able to get a job.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, Sister Enke, please confirm if Bro Ebuka is still here. I can't see him here. I don't know.
Yes, hello everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can hear you, sir. Welcome. Good evening.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good to be here. I want to salute everyone very especially. Yeah, I can hear people giving their short profiles. So what are the questions and how do I answer them?
Okay, so quickly, talking about you just introducing yourself, talk about your current work, marital status, if you don't mind, the course you study in university, the office you occupied, if you're a leader, when you joined the tech industry and what your motivation was. Can you hear me, Bro Ebuka?
All right. I will attempt to answer that question. Sorry, everyone. This is not a very good time for me. Okay, my name is Ebuka. Yes, Ebuka Egono. Finished from FUTO 2010. Studied electrical electronic engineering. Marital status, I'm married. Currently, I live in Nigeria, in Rivers State. I work as a lead developer in Nigeria LNG. What else is on the menu, please?
Yeah. Okay, so when you joined the tech industry and your motivation.
Okay, when I joined the tech industry, I think that was in 2000 and well, I've always dabbled into tech since 2005, but I got my hands dirty writing code 2008. That was when I did my first enterprise software. I worked. That was during my internship. I interned with a software company that I think they were doing development for SPDC then. So I had my foray into tech. Funny enough, it was C#. So I chose the .NET route, which is more like an enterprise route. And so we can say 2008, my first job was immediately after NYSC 2011. I got the job as a programmer. So basically, I think that's motivation. My motivation actually is in creating systems that help drive business processes and ease people's life and the way they do things. So I've been involved in quite a lot of projects, architecting them and working in teams to ensure that they come out as architected. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Bro.
Yes, marital status. I think I didn't say that.
You mentioned it.
Or did I mention it?
Yeah.
All right. I'm married with 3 kids.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so just quickly we'll get into the panel discussion. However, if in the course of the discussion you have questions, so you can do well to drop them on the chat box. You can probably send them to Sister Kechi if you may. So we'll just take it up from there. All right, so we'll start with the first question. What are the most in-demand skills in the Nigerian tech industry? Because our focus is home, actually. So talk about the Nigerian tech space. So what are the most in-demand skills in the Nigerian tech industry? And what skills will you recommend someone looking to enter into the industry to focus on acquiring? I think we'll throw that question to Bro Genesis. Let's start with him.
Hi, yeah. I wasn't actually expecting that question. So the most in-demand skills in the Nigerian tech space. So first of all, when we say the tech space, I wouldn't want us to just limit it to, in terms of skills, to what we have in Nigeria. The tech space is global, right? And when it comes to skills, for the tech space, you have the non-technical and the technical skills. Non-technical are basically skills that have to do a lot of customer interaction, client interaction, and all of that. Things like product management, product design, business analysis, and all of that. Then the technical skills have to do with the guys writing the code, right? Just as we have Ikechukwu and Ebuka. So you are basically the one writing the code. So when you talk about the most in demand, I would say the first thing is just about you looking at what is trending in the industry from the technical and non-technical. If you are looking for non-technical skills, I would say on the get-go, product management is something that is in demand if you are looking to start up in the tech space in a non-technical area. I would say product management, business analysis, a little bit of quality assurance as well. But if you're also looking to start up in the technical space, I can only make recommendations, but I know Ikechukwu and Ebuka will be in the best position to know which will be the best, because that is where their forte is. But from the top of my head, I would say any of the training technologies, such as Python, which gives you the flexibility to do both programming and data analysis, or probably C# for enterprise, and maybe Golang for enterprise and mobile development. So it all depends.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so what are the current trends? What are the current trends in the Nigerian tech industry, and how do you see them in the near future? I think we'd ask.
So for current trends, what is trending also, probably, I guess I missed that out, have to do with blockchain technology as well, Web3, right? In the tech space we are today, I know 3, 4, 5 years ago, we barely have up to 2 or 3 blockchain focused industries or companies in Nigeria. But today we have likes of Patricia and the rest getting to the space and becoming leaders in that industry. So the blockchain industry has become a very trending and uprising space within the tech field.
Okay, thank you very much, Bro Genesis. So would also like to ask, I think this question will go to Bro Ikechukwu. Where do I start from if I want to get into tech, and how long will it take me to get a job? Bro Ikechukwu, can you hear me?
I suspected you called me, but you broke up for a minute. So yeah, okay. So where do you start if you're looking if you want to get into tech, and how long will it take you? So that question is quite relative. And it's also depending on whoever that person is. So basically, if I'm answering that question to someone, I usually know the person, and then I answer the person based on what I have understood from the person, observed from the person. Because there are different skills in tech, and most of them takes different level of experience, level of understanding to acquire. So, but on the basis, I think first thing is that tech in getting into tech is not about getting skills. First of all, I know most people once want to come into tech, the first thing they think about is skill, coding, JavaScript, C#. All those things are not actually the issue when it comes to tech. The major problem I've seen in tech over the years is problem-solving skills. People can't solve problems. And people are paying money so they can be able to get their problems solved. The reason why people are paying high amount of money for developers is because developers solve problems. So, just a bit of, just to buttress the point, I was mentoring on Code Mentor. I don't know if anybody knows it. So I mentored for Code Mentor for a while. And most of the times I was on Code Mentor, I had developers come to me to fix their issues, help them solve some problem. And it was very basic problems, but it felt so big to them. And the reason is because they only learned how to code, but never learned how to solve problems. So I think the first problem you should solve, you learn to do, would be to how to solve problem. How do I solve a problem? And you don't need, it's not necessarily have to be technical skill or what, it's just a general skill. How do I solve a particular problem? And then with that, I would always advise to start with the easiest stuff, which are those markup languages like HTML, CSS, and maybe JavaScript. Those are easy to learn and pick up. Then if you want to go on the backend side, you can maybe start with Python. But most of us, I don't recommend Python, C# for starters because it's going to take you at least 6 months to master and start building production grade code. And also time is not waiting for you. Basically, you have 6 months, or maybe you add extra 6 months, maybe as an intern or something like that, to pick up from the back end. But when you have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the three of them, within 3 months, within 4 months, within 5 months, you can basically get a good job. Let's just say 3 months, you can get a good job and build on top of that, because basically you need that experience. So that experience can open other doors for you and even make you understand which aspect you want to go into. From there, you can go into back end. From there, you can go into mobile and other stuff. So you can shape yourself together, shape yourself with direction of in tech you want to really go into when it comes to technical. So I think the easiest route to enter into tech would be JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and they pay well. It doesn't, not necessarily because they're easy and cheap, but I think they pay very well especially when it comes to mid-level junior developers. At least if you're working in Nigeria, at least a minimum of 150 to 250 for junior developers. And then if you're working outside the country, I think it's about 1,015. So it's relatively easy to get into, and it's easy for you to maintain yourself. So you can necessarily meet up your targets, meet up the requirement of your job without having to break a sweat within 3 to 4 months, at least for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which will also involve maybe React and some other stuff. But those are not really an issue once you have gotten the core of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I think that would be an easier path to get in. But there are other paths to get into based on the person's preference. But on a general note, I think this would be an easier way to get into.
Okay, thank you very much, Bright. Yeah, you've given so much elaboration on that. Thank you. Rebuka would get to you. Can you tell us about the company culture at your organization? What qualities and skills are highly valued by your team?
Okay, for me? Okay, yeah. Okay, so
no. Sorry, Rebuka. Sorry.
Because I was
Yes, I guess that question was for me.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, all right. So I said, can you tell us about the company culture at your organization and what qualities and skills are highly valued by your team?
Oh, Yeah, it's an excellent, it's a world-class company with an excellent culture. Our values are hinged on these five, we have core values on safety, integrity, teamwork, excellence, respect, and care. In my team, we actually value teamwork a lot, and we are an agile team, so we employ Scrum in our day-to-day, in the day-to-day running of our activities. One of the key skills, or some of the qualities that are highly valued. One of them is someone has just said, problem solving. You will agree with me that the differentiating factor between two people on a team is the ability of one to solve problems over the other. And if you're able to solve problems, I mean, there are problems every day. Problems come, and if you're able to find out go the extra mile to find out the solution to problems, definitely you will be well ahead of others on the team. And another thing we celebrate on as one of our core values is excellence. So there's no room for mediocre performance. You will agree with me that especially in tech, like you said on Code Mentor, you see a lot of people come in there, they have a lot of problems, but when you look at some of the problems, they are very basic problems. We value excellence a lot, and we ensure that every developer, UI, UX designer, tester, whoever is coming to the team is top notch. So I've mentioned and I must tell you, there's a lot of regard and respect for people. There's a lot of care. So your work is flexible. Your work is very, very flexible. I told you it's an agile team. So once we run our sprint planning, everybody runs on flexi. You can choose to do your work when you want it, how you want it, where you want it. You can work from Canada, you can work from the US, you can work from Brazil, you can work from Seychelles, you can travel, be on vacation, and you're working. I mean, it's a result-driven team. So we're self-organizing, and those are some of the values that we value in the team. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Brebuka. So, Bro Christian, we'd like to know how do you keep your skills current with the changing trends and demands? How do you stay up to date with latest technologies, industry developments? What resources would you recommend for someone looking to do the same?
Okay, I would focus more on my own aspects of the tech design. So I actually follow some senior designers, people that have gone far in the industry, that have 10, 15 years of experience, majorly from the abroad, right? And then I follow their work. I see what they are doing, because most of all these people that works with Meta, Microsoft, all these bigger companies, they do a lot of top kind of skill design. So I follow their works on LinkedIn most especially, because I feel like I connect them on LinkedIn. So when I see what they do, I try to go to YouTube to see how I can improve on my own. So more like I see what these guys post daily, right? And if it's something I cannot do, just to keep my hands sharp in that aspect of design, I go on LinkedIn, YouTube. I search and I see people that have done it, because there are a lot of resources on YouTube, right? So I try to watch some few videos and then practice. Because if you sometimes when you watch videos and you just take some notes and you not practice, you might forget it easily. So this industry is more of practice, right? I follow these guys, I see what they are doing, I go and do my own assignments too. Go to YouTube, watch videos, and then just to keep myself handy with what is going on in the industry. So that's it actually.
Yeah, so basically it's about researching to know what's trendy and also getting your hands dirty also on what you can do.
Yeah,
All right.
another easy method is that you may not be able to research with a specific search word on Google, right? So if you follow these people that have gone far in that particular aspect in the tech industry, you connect with them, you see what they are doing, it will be very easy for you to know what is trending.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so there's a question we talked about. I know Bro Ebuka had talked about it. Brekechu also talked about it, problem solving. So I think later on I will still ask about that, how one can improve his or her problem solving skills, because that's really, really important as a software developer or, coming into tech, solving problems, that's very important. So yeah, we'll get back to that, but let's just get to the next question. So bro, Genesis, would like you to tell us, let's say someone does not really want to, Japa, the whole of this Japa stuff, and the person is thinking, where can I find tech jobs in Nigeria? Are there any particular job search platforms you may recommend?
Thank you for that question, Wisdom. So where can I find tech jobs in Nigeria? First, I'll say the number one place for you to start with is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is a very good place to start. Also your network. Since after getting my first job in 2017, 2018, yeah, 2017, every other job that I've gotten till date has been based on network effects and LinkedIn. Every other job that I've gotten have not been based on my application. I've not applied to a job and they call me for an interview. It has been based on network effects. People reaching out to me from my network and also LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a very good place to start. Brush up your LinkedIn profile. Ensure that your LinkedIn is up to date with what you're currently doing. If you're learning a programming language, you can put that as part of what you're doing on LinkedIn. Any project you've done in your course of learning, put that on LinkedIn. Other places you can also check for jobs within Nigeria will be the popular job sites that we have, like myjobmark.com, Jobberman, and all of those job sites we have within Nigeria. But for me, top on the list will always be LinkedIn and your network effect. Just within us here, I believe you can reach out to anyone that you know, tell them about your interest in tech, and if they have anyone, they can also refer to you. And please feel free to, send emails to people on LinkedIn, especially recruiters and people that are within the same career that you are looking forward to transiting into. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Brebuka, I've just been informed that you have a tight schedule and somehow you may be leaving us soon. So I think I should get you the next question so that you can give us more enlightenment. All right. So the next question is, how can I transition into tech from a different career path? I want to come into tech. And you also take the next question, like just the two questions together, which is, do I need a mentor? How can I transition into tech from a different career? And also, do I need a mentor?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. A very quick one. I'll take the last one first. Do I need a mentor? Well, in every field of life, I would always advise people to get a mentor. Mentorship, what it does for you is it helps to catalyze the process of your development and learning. It may not be a physical mentor. I know someone had just talked of LinkedIn. A lot of my progress personally has been self-development and on the web. There are a lot of people doing amazing things on the web. You check out people's work, check out the frameworks. People are writing frameworks. People are doing a lot of things beyond programming. In fact, as it stands now, programming to a very large extent is like is a basic survival skill, like learning how to read and write. Everybody should learn how to program. Beyond programming, there are other things you need to learn. So you need a mentor. Even if you don't get a mentor in person, you can write to someone online and say, please, I've written to someone on LinkedIn before, and I told him I appreciate the work I've done on AI when I was doing something on NLP. And I said, I would want to work with you on this project. And the guy agreed. So nothing stops you from going into the market and asking people, please help mentor me on this particular thing. And how do I transition to tech? I don't like using the word transitioning to tech, because the world we are in now is a tech-driven world. So people shouldn't really be talking of transitioning to tech. Everybody's already in tech. So we should be talking of growing in tech, not transitioning to tech. You are working in the farm. We have tech-enabled farms. You are working in the hospital. We have tech-enabled healthcare. You are a teacher. We have edtech. You are anywhere you are. We have the technology driving business and driving exploration, mining, everything. Now, if you're talking of how do I increase my knowledge of maybe building systems or supporting or being an active player in technology, moving from being a consumer to a creator of tech value, that's what I can now advise. The first thing is know exactly what you want to do. Now, because I tell people that without a specific direction of where you want to go, you will find yourself, you see your friend who is earning so much in product design. You say, no, I want to become a product designer. You see someone doing so well as a product manager, you want to become a product manager. You see someone, he's now earning $250,000 in software development. You want to jump into software development. Somewhere half the line, you see someone earning 500,000 in Web3. You say, no, I think Web3 is the way to go. So you don't be a bricklayer, a painter, a mason, a shoe shiner all at once. No, find a niche and grow in it. I tell people this very importantly. If you don't become, your goal should be to be among the top 5% in whatever field you have chosen to be in. So if you have chosen to be a programmer, if they call the best 5 programmers in your field, your name should pop up. So get on YouTube. You don't even need to buy courses for a start. Get on YouTube. I know someone has mentioned on JavaScript and some of these frameworks we have around. You want to learn React, or you want to learn Angular, you want to learn Vue, you want to learn whatever you want. There are 1,001 courses free on YouTube. Go on YouTube, search them out. If you don't want the burden of playing them over and over, you can download them to your system and start watching, get your hands dirty. The truth is that you learn to pray by praying, you learn to code by coding. You cannot run away from don't shunt the process. I tell people, find a niche and get into it. Self-development is all that it will take to do. It's all that you need to take you there. When people come for me for mentorship, even my mentees now, what I don't solve problems for them. I only ask them, what is the problem? What have you searched on Google? What did Google tell you? Okay, we look at the results Google gave you. Have you tried this? Go and try it and give me the outcome. Because basically, all you just need is somebody to tell you, look, enter that door. Enter that door. They don't need to open the door for you. So whatever, in a nutshell now, if you want to transition to tech, let me use that word, transitioning to tech. If you want to become an active player in creating value using tech, first and foremost, know exactly where you want to be. You want to be in data science, you want to be in AI, you want to be a software engineer, a software developer, in DevOps, in a product design, UI, UX. Know exactly where you want to be and start off there. The journey may not be easy, but don't worry. Your focus is, this is where I want to be. So you start off there. Rome was not built in a day. Tech is not a stroll in the park. I hear someone saying in 3 months, 6 months. Make up your mind that you will be the best. 6 months will not make you the best in your field. I can assure you that 6 months will not make you the best in your field. But your whole mind should be you want to get in and you want to grow in it, and surely you will. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Ebuka. That was quite candid. Okay, so we have another question here. So remember, speaking to our audience, if you have any questions, do well to drop them in the chat box so we just get to talk about them before we end this call. All right, so next question is, I don't have a laptop. Actually, it's the Nigerian reality. So I don't have a laptop, but I want to learn how to code. Also, I want to learn a tech skill, but there's no one to teach me. What do I do? So 2 questions in one. I don't have a laptop. I want to learn how to code. I want to learn a tech skill. There's nobody to teach me.
Is that for me?
It wasn't for you, sir. But
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, bro, Christian, I think you can go.
Okay. I don't have a laptop and I want to learn how to code. First of all, there are platforms that you can code with. You can learn to code with your phone. Although that's not the best, but at least you can get on that before you get a laptop. But I think it's a priority for the person to get a laptop if you want to be efficient in that particular area. So there are mobile applications and other platforms that you can learn how to code while watching videos on YouTube or learning from any other person. Online courses. You can also practice what you are doing, what you've learned with those platforms. But it's also important that person make conscious efforts to get a laptop. It's just like you want to travel abroad, but you don't have a ticket, you don't have a visa, or you don't have money for flights, that kind of stuff. So the person needs to make conscious efforts to get a laptop. But if as at that time does not have money or anything, they can use some platforms online, mobile applications with their mobile phone, and learn some basic keywords, some basic programming language. I think that's for I don't have a laptop. Then the second question is what, please?
Yeah, you want to learn a tech skill, but no one to teach you.
Okay, no one taught me design, actually. I started design during my IT 2019. I actually went for IT for development, but I was not really enjoying it. I just felt, okay, I needed to learn design. So there was a guy in my company, is a lead UI UX designer. It was kind of funny for me. If I want him to teach me, so I just took it as a challenge that I need to learn this stuff. I went on YouTube. I was using the company's Wi-Fi, go online, watch videos, and practice. Sometimes I will show other people in my company. So actually did not learn from anybody. So you don't have anybody to teach you. There are resources online. You can go on Udemy, you can go on Coursera. Although some of these courses are paid, but you can apply for financial aid and you get the course for free. You can also go on YouTube, search 2 hours, 4 hours, 5 hour videos on YouTube that you can use to learn some. Just know what you want to do. They know how to search for it. I think I don't have somebody to teach me is not an issue. You just have to make up your mind you want to learn, and then you learn.
Yeah, thank you very much, bro, Christian. And in addition, also for the I don't have a laptop, actually, in every course in life, there's always a price to pay. A friend told me of how nobody went to school in his family, His uncle had written jam for like 5-6 times, couldn't get in, and he just relaxed, like everybody in the family just relaxed. But him, after he finished secondary school, he was determined to go to the university, and so he told them he needs money to get a jam form, and everybody was just looking at him like, nobody goes to school here, like nobody furthers his or education. So what are you talking about? So, but somehow he was, because of determination. So what he did was, he said he had a bike he used to ride. He had to take the bike to like a jam center where they sell the jam form. He dropped the bike, asked them to give him the jam form that he would leave his bike here as a guarantee, whatever, that he would later go and get the money. And that's how he did. They gave him the form, he dropped his bike there, went back home, told them that his bike is no more because he dropped it to get jam form. He said the next day they gave him money to go and get that jam form. So he went, gave them the money, took back the bike. So you just have to pay a price, like definitely. Even me, when I wanted to start coding, I didn't have a laptop and I didn't have money to get one. So, but what did I do? I just had to call on someone who was he deals with laptop sales, and I had to even discuss with him, can I pay you by installments, just because it's something I really needed to get. So in every endeavor in life, there's actually no easy paths, and sacrifices must be made in order for great achievements to be achieved. So that's about that. Okay, so quickly we want to get to the next question. What advice would you give to someone just starting their career in the Nigerian tech industry? And what mistakes should they avoid? Someone just starting out his career in the tech industry, and what mistakes should they avoid?
Okay, so for someone starting up in tech industry, I think one of the advice would be to practice a lot. You basically have to practice a lot, which is something that I've resounded a lot today. You basically have to code and code and code a lot. Code as much as you can code, learn as much as you can learn on the topic and the particular topic or career where you are already. And one important thing that you must also keep in mind is communication. Communication is very, very key in the tech industry. To grow in your career basically would involve communication. Communication will entail knowing how to reciprocate with your manager, whoever is in charge, or who is your team lead or whoever, on time, communicate with them on time. When you're stuck, reach out immediately, communicate and stuff like that. So it's better to over-communicate than to over-communicate when it comes to tech, because it can be the, how would I put it, just the slim wall between you achieving more and you achieving less communication. So because I think the more you are exposed to, the more work you're exposed to, the more you become better in tech. So tech is not basically, because the fact is that no matter how much tutorial you do, there are a lot of things you can't learn until you get into doing real work. There's a limit to tutorials. There's a limit, even if you're saying I'm practicing tech solutions, right? I'm building this, I'm building that. You're just building on your own. There's still a limit to it. There are some complexity that comes with working with a team. And with that, communication becomes very, very key. So it's very important that you communicate and over-communicate with your team. And also don't get stuck on a bug for long. I always give people that, people I mentor, I always tell them, don't exceed 30 minutes. If your brain couldn't get a solution in 30 minutes, and you know that it's not sleep or tiredness that is doing you, because sometimes you can be sleepy, you can be hungry, and it can make you not know what's happening in the screen. So, but as long as you know it's not sleep or hunger or tiredness or any of such, please reach out to somebody immediately, someone who can help you solve that problem. And strangely, the person can solve that problem in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and you save yourself a lot of time. And also you learn the solution from that person already because you've seen how the person solved that problem. So rather than spend a lot of time Googling, and yes, doing that is very good, but over time, I've seen that there is no clear advantage. If I take 4 hours to solve a problem somebody will do in 5 minutes, the fulfillment that comes from it is not that rewarding. It's not that rewarding that I should spend 4 hours on that problem. So my advice on that aspect would be look for someone who can help you solve that problem immediately. And that would help you also continue your work and go ahead to solve other problems. So yeah, so I think, did I miss any question?
No, you didn't. But I would also like to ask you, sorry, because you made mention of reaching out, which is very important, communication. But I would just like to ask, can you draw the dividing line between, someone staying, like someone trying to improve his problem-solving skills? Because I noticed there are people who reach out to others like almost every time. Oh, I'm stuck. But you would see others who, of course, they reach out, but on the other side, they would try to want to do it, like, spend time to do it. And to an extent, I think that also helps problem solving, because the main aim of the whole thing is problem solving. Although I understand for sure that if you reach out to a senior person, the person will just look with his own eyes and be like, oh, okay, check here, check this file, check that file. Okay, what did you do here? How did you do it? And all of that. But I've also come to understand that if you are too dependent on the fact that you have a senior developer who could just unblock you, just maybe within 3 minutes, if you become over-dependent, it also does not help your problem-solving skill as a developer. So how do you draw that dividing line between reaching out and doing your own personal problem-solving? Thank you.
So the reason why I'm giving this advice is because for me, I wish there's somebody I could run to. That's the fact. I've had problems where I had issues, and I'm looking like, who can I actually help me look at this, please? I don't want to really solve this problem myself. And most of the times, I call my friends, and they look at it and like, oh, no, I'm not interested. And then I have to just either go to sleep and then wake up and try to solve the problem later. So it's actually helpful that you can go to someone. So I would say it's more of a mentality problem, because I know people that basically, once they have an issue, they reach to somebody, not just tech problems. I'm sure you have seen people that when, let's say they want to do 2 + 2, rather than say 2 + 2, they say, guy, 2 + 2 is what again? Yes. Right? They basically reach out to everybody when they want to solve a particular. So I'm not, there's a slim line between that. But what I'm talking about here is that you passionately want to solve a problem, but you know that you don't have the solution to this problem. And the fact is that most of the time is that you're missing something. So if you know you're missing that thing, just go and get it from somebody. And it's not going to be foolish of you to get that thing and not know how that problem was solved. Because if you have solved that problem the first time, and then you come back again with that same problem again, it means you're not learning. But if you've learned the problem once, you solved that problem once, now it means subsequently you can solve that kind of problem yourself. That is a plus for you. It doesn't matter whether you did it in 4 hours or 30 minutes. The main thing that you can solve that problem again. So if you can solve that problem again, please go to the senior engineer and get it. It's simpler for you. It's less. See, I would say this. Let me just drop this now. When it comes to tech, the problem is not solving the problem. The problem is being smart about it, which means that if there's a way for me to solve this problem in 10 minutes, even if you call it cheat, please use it. Please use it. Solve the problem as fast as possible so you can have enough time to learn and to rest. That's my own solution to most of the problems. solve it as fast as possible, as quick as possible, and as best as possible. So basically, while solving it quickly, you're not cutting corners, but at the same time, as long as you get to the solution and you learn from the solution, that's all that matters. It's not like they will give you an award for solving the problem in 4 hours or in 30 minutes. There's no more difference in that. So as much as quickly as you can solve it, that's why in today, when you're doing React, Python, just any language you're doing, we are using packages, framework, gems, and so on and so forth. Why are we doing that? Why are we not repeating ourselves? Because this problem have already been solved and bundled. Don't try solving the problem again. Just use the solution already provided. That's why we have those things. So in tech, we try not to repeat ourselves. We try not to we try not to get the solution somebody already gotten. So somebody already had the solution. Just pick the solution from the person and use that solution for yourself. But just learn from the solution. I think that is the best you can do for yourself rather than having to put yourself through source.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I would soon be done. I think we just have 1 or 2 more questions. Someone says, I have several certifications in tech, but I also get rejected in job application. What do you think I may be doing wrong? Who is going for that? Bro Ebuka, is he still here? Okay, probably.
Yes, he left.
Okay, all right. So, okay, bro, Genesis, I think you can go.
Okay, thank you, Wisdom. So the question, person have been having, the person has a lot of certification, but however, the person have not been getting job interviews, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So to respond to that person, what I would say is this: it depends on how well prepared your CV is. Recruiters nowadays are not just interested in certificates that you get or that you have. They're a lot more interested in what you've done and what you can do. If in your CV or resume, you're talking about how you're able to secure certification in this, but you can't talk about projects that you'll be able to successfully deliver, or you can't talk about value that you've added to your current or previous organizations. That means your CV is not convincing enough for recruiters to be able to reach out to you for the next stage of the recruitment process, which is the interview. So the first thing, you have to look at your CV, ensure that your CV is a lot more value driven for whoever wants to see your CV. You're talking about values you've added to organizations you've worked in, projects you've worked in, what you can do. So talk about what you can do and what you cannot, what you've done in the past, not just what you have. So that is just a simple answer for that. What you can do and what you've done, not just what you have in terms of certificate or a degree. That does not really impress recruiters, especially when it comes to the tech space. It doesn't really impress them.
Okay, thank you very much. And also in addition, just to add to that, companies now or recruiters now use some form of screening, CV screening machines or bots or programs. So what those CV screening bots does is that it looks for keywords in the CVs, because people are applying for the job all around the world, and it's also work for the recruiter to get the best fit. So many recruiters, what they do is, they have this recruiting softwares that looks for keywords. So in applying also for job, I think one also has to tailor his or her CV, ensure that in the job description or in the job responsibilities, we're able to have some of those keywords that the recruiter is looking for, those key skills that we mentioned in the job posting, so that in the event your CV is passed through that kind of software, definitely at least you have a chance to get to the next stage of screening, because after that, the person will still screen and still have more criteria to screen down to the number that he or she feels he or she can reach out to for interview. So I think that's also another one. Then also be persistent, yeah, because it's actually not easy. A lot of developers are out there, a lot of designers are out there, a lot of product managers are out there, a lot of scrum masters are out there. So you just need to be persistent. The job market, of course, is large, but at the same time, they are just coming to be persistent. Also look out for internship opportunities from which you can start and learn even more. And from there, you can progress in your career. All right. So I think we'll be taking questions at this point because we need to wrap up soon. So I have a question here from Joseph. So he says, please, can you explain again about the technical and non-technical skills? I think Genesis was the one that talked about technical and non-technical skills. So
yeah.
you can explain again. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So just responding to your question, to be honest, many people feel when you talk about tech or IT, it's all about you learning how to write, learning how to code or learning one programming language. But that really is not the case, right? For the tech space, we have some jobs that do not require you to learn how to program, how to write code. Those we call, I refer to those ones as non-technical skills or non-technical jobs within the IT space, things like business analysis, things like product management, project management, product design. I doubt if I doubt if Christian have ever written code in his line of work today as a product designer or UI UX engineer, but he's working directly with stakeholders, cross-functional teams, developers, and all of that in solving problems for whatever, for the company that he works for. So non-technical skills are basically skills, or should I say careers in tech, that you don't need to learn how to write code or write code on a day-to-day basis. We have Scrum Master, we have Project Manager, we have several of them, right? We have Program Manager. They are basically things you just need to learn. Not that they're easy to learn as it is. They are not easy to learn on their own. You have to take time to put yourself through training, also do a lot of practice. And the difficult thing with when you compare the technical and non-technical skills is that most times when you're looking for, when you're talking about the technical skills like programming or writing code and you go for an interview, they want to test you with writing of code, how you've been able to write, if you can write a code, or give you some questions or SQL, whatever, to resolve or query a database or thereabout. But for the non-technical skills, most times you find yourself doing assessment that has to do with problem solving or case study or trying to work on scenario-based assessments. So yeah, in the tech space, we have technical and non-technical. Just for you to be aware of, if I feel I'm not capable enough, or I don't really find pleasure, or I don't really want to do the technical part, which is writing of code, can I also do this other one? Can I derive pleasure, or will I be able to excel in this part? And just to add before I finish responding to your question, it's not, for the fact that it's a non-technical part doesn't make it easy. I'll tell you the truth. For the fact that product management is not a technical aspect in software development or in the tech space, doesn't make it easy, right? It doesn't make it easier than writing C# or whatever. Just have to know that, because the advantage you have in learning this is different from the advantage you have in learning the other one. But all requires your determination and persistence, and also your ability to make up your mind to go along that line.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so another person is asking, but Paul, what packages simplify tasks that require HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? I'm really trying to understand that question. Brike, I'll be coming to you, but let me repeat the question again. It says, what packages simplify tasks that require HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? I don't know if you have some understanding along that path, like understanding of the place.
I think it goes in line with what I said about there are packages already that solve basic problems. that we don't have, we just reuse those packages rather than having to build everything afresh. So going in that line, when it comes to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, there are tools, basically not necessarily packages or library or frameworks that help you write better HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code and make them production ready almost at the start. And that would involve React, Vue.js, Angular, Next.js, Nox.js. So basically, frameworks and libraries that help you write better HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code would all fall into that category. So because basically you wouldn't be thinking about how to manipulate your DOM and make your DOM responsive or real time and all. All these things are already baked into those frameworks and library. So all you have to just do is just design what the designer has given to you and bring it to life. Yeah. So I think that would be to that.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, there are other questions here. Let me go through them. Okay. Please, how can one choose the tech paths where one is new to tech? How can one choose a tech path? I think we've talked about this. Yeah, that there are a lot of parts, the non-technical and the technical parts. So it depends on where your interest lies. You can just try out a few things. You can try out some things in the technical aspect. You can try out some things in the non-technical aspect, and just see maybe you have any maybe form of inclination to any of these parts. So it really depends on you. You can start anywhere, even data science. So second question, how do I go about getting a tech remote job outside Nigeria without having a work visa? Bro, Christian, I think you can go.
Sorry, please come again with that question, please.
All right, so how do I go about getting a tech remote job without having a work visa? I think it's more like working from home, like just exactly like what you are doing.
Yeah, you don't need a work visa to get a remote job. You would need a work visa if you are traveling to that country to work there. So while you're working from Nigeria, you don't need a work visa. It's just when you meet requirements of the company, right? You are employed, you can work from home. So you don't need the work visa. So it's just for you getting into the company or getting an employment offer from the company, and you can begin working immediately. So you don't need the work visa for it.
Okay, thank you. So someone is asking, okay, how can someone strategically put himself for a job in the tech market as a new individual looking for an opportunity? Okay, bro, Genesis, just touch quickly on that. I know we talked about, had some discussions around.
Sorry, please, can you recall?
Yeah, so he said, how can someone strategically put himself for his job in the tech market as a new individual looking for an opportunity?
Okay, as a new person looking for an opportunity, so I'm assuming you are basically new to IT, and I'm just trying to make some assumption to help answer the question very well. And I also assume that you have had some sort of training. You've learned the basics, the fundamentals required in that particular career. So I'll say the first thing is to look for internship, right? Internship is very, very important, very, very critical to the growth to your growth in whatever career, especially the tech space. Don't be shy, or don't shy away from free internship. It's very, very important for you, because one thing about the tech space, it all depends on the experience, what you'll be able to do in real life environments, right? Not just what you've learned. So try as much as possible to get internship. Even though it's a free internship, feel free to get internship as much as possible, so you can start getting experience in your bags. And then from there, you can now start applying for jobs and leveraging on network effects. Network is very, very important. To me, I'll say network has been my strongest point in most of the jobs that I've gotten. So internship, leverage on network effects, ask friends and family, reach out to people on LinkedIn, very good, useful platform that you can utilize. Many people don't really use LinkedIn so much. Reach out to people on LinkedIn, tell them about your passion, your interests, especially people that are doing what you want to become good at, right? Reach out to them on LinkedIn, leverage your network effects, utilize internship, free, that is paid or unpaid internship, utilize them to get more experience, get more projects within your bags. So that to me, that is one of the easiest way for you to get into the tech or get into whatever career you are looking forward to getting into.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. So, Breke Chukwoji, you studied mathematics, and someone is asking, is it possible for someone who is not good in mathematics to get into tech and do well? If you can just very briefly, maybe about 2 minutes, about rounding up. Thank you.
I don't think that is a problem. Mathematics is not, it's not like you're using very strong mathematics in doing programming. Some people do programming for a year or two and never have to do anything mathematical. So it's not necessarily a required skill. So you don't really need mathematics to do programming.
Sorry,
Okay.
just to also add wisdom, sorry to interrupt. I have a colleague who studies zoology, and she's a very wonderful Golang engineer in my place of work. She studies zoology. So what you study in school is never a criteria or situation here. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. So, Bro Genesis, I'll still come to you because you say you're a product manager. So someone is asking, how do you manage working across cross-functional team that's across different time zones? Either, yeah, just how do you manage that?
Okay, is that question for me?
Yeah, I would like to take it.
Okay, all right. Well, first of all, it depends on your ability to organize yourself, really. Before, I basically work with companies within Nigeria, but as a year or so now, I started working with company outside the country. And when I started, I had developers in Mexico, developers in Cuba, in America. The Scrum Master then was in Poland, while the BA that was working with me was in Brazil. So these were different time zones, and my line manager was in UK at that point in time. So first of all, how you organize yourself is very, very important, and how you manage your time. It all depends on how the organization runs and how you fit into the time zone of whoever you are reporting to and who you are working directly with. You need to be able to identify stakeholders you are working directly with, their time zones and their locations, know when, if that will help you whenever you want to set up a meeting with whoever you want to discuss with or collaborate with, you factor that time zone into consideration. Also, if you are working with an organization that is in the US, America, probably Canada, that means you have to adjust your own working hours here in Nigeria to suit that of your colleagues. But if you're working with the company in Europe, the difference might likely just be maybe 1 hour or 3 hours or 2 hours, depending. But for me, at that, currently, the company is in UK, which is just 1 hour difference, but I have colleagues scattered all around the world. So it's just for me to adjust whatever meeting I need to schedule, try to schedule at a time that is convenient for myself and for my colleague. And as I said earlier, your ability to organize yourself is very, very important, because if you don't organize yourself, you might find yourself working late hours just to satisfy the time zone of a colleague that is in Brazil, or a time zone for a colleague who is in Mexico. So self-organization, time management, and understanding your stakeholders, where they are located and their different time zones. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think someone is raising his hand. Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't really type. Can I ask via voice note?
You can actually. In fact, you can ask now. You can go.
So I have three questions. The first one I want to ask is, how do one, like now, somebody's into programming, but the opportunities that the person is getting is not, though it's still tech, but not programming inclined. How do one go about it? Because if you maybe you're a programmer and then you get an opportunity that has to do with telecom or maybe an IT support somewhere, how do you combine the two so that you can, one will not suffer and the other one too will not suffer? And then number two question is, somebody as a programmer, what is the best way one can get a remote job? Because remote jobs now, I know they can apply online from even from all these different job sites. They have opportunities for remote job, but sometimes you apply and you apply and you apply, you don't get. So what's the fastest way and what's the best way? And my third question is, somebody that is doing a 9-to-5 job, how possible it is for the person to get a remote job without quitting the 9-to-5 job? I'm done.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. Who wants to go? There are three questions. One, fastest way to get a remote job, working 9-to-5, and you still want to get a remote job. How do you go about it? And the first question.
And how to?
What was the first question? Okay.
If you're
having other opportunities.
If you're into programming and you get a job that's not programming, probably telecom or something different, but it's still tech, how do you combine the opportunities that come to you? Is not really programming inclined. So how do you do it? That's the first question.
Okay, well, sorry, but I think for that question is just less for the individual to answer. Exactly what do you want to do? You want to go into programming, you want to go into telecoms. So I think you just need to focus, because at the end, if you want to gobble up a lot of career paths at the same time, at the end, somehow you may wear out and you may not really master a particular one. So I think it's based on the individual. But for the other two questions, I don't know who wants to go. You have a 9-to-5 job. You are thinking of combining a remote job. How do you go about it? Yeah, bro, Christian. Okay, Raigi, I'll come to you later.
Okay, if you have a 9-to-5 job and you want a remote job, first of all, it depends on the area of the remote job you're going to intake, because mostly tech job is usually time consuming. You have to work. So if you have a normal job in Nigeria that's taking 9-to-5 of your time, I don't see how you can combine it. One will suffer definitely. So you have to decide which one, except what you are doing here that is 9-to-5 is not taxing. Maybe something you just need to do that needs little of your attention. Maybe just calls, or you don't need to be there physically. You don't need to even work, just coordinate things, and then you can manage it. But if it's something that you are doing, maybe you are working in a bank or something like that, I don't see how you can combine it with a 9-to-5 hours job. That is one. And then I want to quickly jump into, I know other speakers can also add to what I'm saying. So I want to quickly jump into how you can get a remote job easily. We talked about submitting CV, resume, and then certification. Those things actually are not really the key things. For me, I think the key thing is having something to show. And then coming online, showing yourself online. Because most of, like you said, they have software that they used to check through CV, and then there's no keyword there. You see you are applying, and nobody's responding to your application. You're just getting rejection email. So if you come online, maybe Twitter, LinkedIn, connecting with all these recruiters, you know a particular company you want to work with. Some persons, they know what they want, so they go for what they want. So if you know you want to work in this type of company, what they do, you have good knowledge about it. Then you have to follow that company up, connect with recruiters in that industry, show your works online. Just be showing your works online. They will see you. At a point in time, they will see you. You might post one, you think nobody will see you, they are watching you. I've had most of my jobs, both freelance job and this remote job, all came from LinkedIn. All the ones I sent email, sending CV, I got rejections from all of them. So at a point in time, I got people coming to my DM, I have a job for you, just because of how I'm showing myself on LinkedIn. So I feel if you position yourself in such a way that you'll be, should I use the phrase hot cake in that industry, they'll be the one running to you. So don't focus more on having certification. So some person, they have 10 certification in their portfolio, but they have no experience, nothing to show about it, nothing to say, okay, I'm good in this particular aspect, see what I can offer. I'll just follow certification. So I think you have to be practical about what you are doing and then show it, let people see that this guy is good in this particular aspect, or this lady is good in this particular aspect. People will refer you, they will see your work. That's how it works.
Thank you.
Okay, Bro Ikechukwu, just 2 minutes. Sorry, we are almost rounding up, so we need to be very fast.
Yeah, so but I want to get a clarification. The 9 to 5 job, is it a tech job or a non-tech job?
The tech job.
So if you have a 9 to 5 job that's a tech job, and then you have a remote job that is a tech job, you can actually juggle them together. But it means now that you have to work at a very higher rate. And I'm speaking from experience. I've actually juggled about 4 or 5 before. About 3 of them were remote and 2 were 9 to 5. And I was, okay, 1 was 9 to 5, and then 1 was basically weekends, but still Nigeria too. So I was able to juggle the 5 of them because of the fact that I was able to split my my work. Because in tech, most of the time, it's not about the time you spend in working, as I've said before, it's about what you deliver. So as long as you can deliver, I won't advise this though, because you might be able to deliver on your tasks, but your health can suffer. It can also affect your health, your mental health and other stuff can also go at stake, but it's possible. The question is it possible? Yes. But is it advisable? No. So please also think about your life. That is, and money is sweet, but think about your life. So that's another way to look at it. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we still have I think we'll take 2 questions at once, and that will be the end. Just 2 questions. So what happens is we'll drop this webinar on our YouTube channel. DLCF FUTO Alumni, we actually have a YouTube channel for those who do not know. So I will drop the link to the recording on the alumni group so that you can get to view it again and again. Yeah, so I'll just take 2 last questions before we go. He said to Brother Ike, do you recommend books for HTML? That's books now for HTML, JavaScript, CSS, just like that of Eric Matz for Python crash course? That's one question. So let me just also ask the second one. He said, how to bring a balance to work and ministry life, especially in a busy work environment? So we have 2 questions. The other one, probably I will look at it. Okay, so Bright, you can go just quickly. Thank you.
Okay, so books, I wouldn't recommend books because I use books, but it's too slow. So basically, I just take videos and watch videos on YouTube. There are a lot of them there. But I always recommend Free Code Camp. Always recommend Free Code Camp. I think I prefer it to the Victory Schools. Their curriculum is much more straightforward and elaborate. So Free Code Camp and their YouTube videos, or if you want to read, they have a kind of a documented flow that you can just follow along rather than having to watch video if you don't watch videos. So I think that is one. The second question, am I supposed to give a go on it?
Yeah, you may.
Okay, so for the second question, I would say it's the best thing is just to take a job. Take one job and focus on ministry. Because the fact is that you, as a Christian, you will still have to deliver, which means that it's a duty for you as a Christian to give your best in whatever you're doing. So basically, if I take on 2 companies, I can probably not give my best to those 2 companies. So what is advisable for me as a Christian is to give my best in both companies, or whatever company I'm working on. And if you're going to do that, it's going to stress you a lot. And plus, ministry is not just you going to church. You have to still reach out to the lost. You have to still save souls and the rest of them. So to do all those things, God's work already takes time. And then tech also takes time. So I would advise, just take one job. Money will always come. You will always get better where you are. Get better where you are. You always get better opportunities. We serve a living God. So basically, you get better opportunities as the day goes by. So one job is fine. One job that gives you time to do ministry and also to focus and give your best in the work itself. And also when you give your best in the work, it's easier for you to grow in that company if you're in a good company. And don't be afraid to change jobs. You can change, you can stay 3 months and leave. It doesn't matter. It's tech. Just give your best. If the company is not giving you enough time for ministry, leave. Go to another one and just put it in prayer. God answers always. So basically, I think that's my own piece of advice for that.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we have to call it a wrap. Yeah, I want to appreciate, there are some questions we may not have touched because of time. We apologize that we cannot take the questions that we've not taken. We just have to wrap up now. I want to once again appreciate our panelists, Bro Genesis, Bro Christian, Bro Ikechukwu, Bro Ebuka, for taking out the time to share with us from your wealth of experience, and every other person for participating. So like I said, we have a YouTube channel which will drop this webinar on. I think the Sister Nkechi has dropped the link already on the chat, so you can check out the chat. Yeah, so I think that's that. So we'll give opportunity to, I think our president is here. Mr. President, sir.
Actually, the president has asked me to act on his behalf for the closing remarks.
Oh, okay. As the vice president, thank you very much. So over to you, Sister Nkechi.
Yes, thank you very much, Bro Wisdom. We are so happy for today's seminar. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We are very grateful to our panelists, all of them, including Bro Ebuka, who has left already. We appreciate the time, and we appreciate you, sharing all your life experience with us in this seminar. And we hope we will all use this information profitably and get better in our lives and careers. So without much ado, just to encourage every one of us and keep on, doing what you know to do best, and the Lord bless and keep you and your families. Watch out for our other announcements for other seminars from next month and beyond. We have a monthly seminar series, so do well to join us every month. Watch on the group. We always advertise them on the group so that you can be part of it, and in that way we build ourselves up. Also, please, there are a number of contributions. I think I should stop recording now.